sunny Orlando, Florida.
When it wants to be sunny.
When it wants to be sunny, right.
Yep.
When it wants to be sunny, that's when it is sunny. The Janemba player is starting out with the Zeno button in energy. Kind of an interesting include. We haven't seen that in a lot of Janemba decks.
Yeah, absolutely. It was something that when Janemba first came out, you kind of saw it a lot. It was everywhere.
Right.
Because it was fresh off the Hercule deck where everyone was like, Zeno button's amazing.
Right.
And it's just kind of slowly faded away.
Yeah. Now, Travis, on the other hand, is running... actually, Philip actually has 2 more Zeno button in life, which is pretty interesting. Those are going to be either really impactful or very unimpactful.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the only 2 options any card can be.
It just depends, I think, when he gets it. If he gets it too early, it's like, well, that was pretty bad. But if he starts picking up those late, those are his last couple of lives, it could be really good.
Right. Absolutely.
And it looks like he's protecting himself on the Kaba hit with Pseudo Combo Cell.
Pseudo Combo Cell. I'll tell you what. Here's the thing, too. Travis, I think this is a big debate by me because a lot of people think that Pan... I'm going to say a lot of people. There are certain people I've talked to that say Pan is very good against Janemba. However, I'm on the, camp that Pan is very unfavored against Janemba.
Okay.
The fact that she draws a card every turn,
Possibly
an extra card. Right, exactly. Possibly the opponent's turn can really lead to, quickly milling out. Think about it. Every 2 battle cards that you play is another mill from Janemba. And if you think how many times you've played against Janemba and lived with only maybe 1 or 2 mills left to go. Like, I won, but, I had 4 cards left in the deck, right?
Yeah.
But that means if you were playing Pan, you would have lost.
You were lost, yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think, to me, it feels like she's a little unfavored. I don't think it's necessarily to an extreme amount. However, I think a card that can help that is Chain Zeno. If she can get enough cards in her hand quick enough to put pressure on and then also shuffle all those cards back in, it could be.
Absolutely. I mean, that's an interesting thing. Depending on how the draws go, too. Because there is a portion of this where it's a little bit luck-based, right, what the draw is.
Sure.
But when she's activating effect and drawing and getting key pieces, if they're in his hand, they're protected from the Janemba mill. So if he does what he's saying, go ahead and Zeno, and you put it all back in the deck, and you're able to get to it again and properly play at the right thing, it could be super impactful.
Full sideboard because there was 2 cards I couldn't read at all. But that's 90% of it.
Okay.
How about that? So yeah, it could be super impactful if he's played accordingly.
Yeah, please. Can we pop the chat up real quick? So I can...
But I do agree with you. I think any deck that draws inherently too much is already at a disadvantage against Janemba. They just, depending on how it's played and what they do throughout the drawing, is going to determine whether or not they win the game against Janemba. Right. Essentially, they're already speeding up the win condition.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. I had a discussion with Dahan about it.
Okay.
Like I said, and I find him to be one of the best Janemba players, and he told me that he agrees that he thinks that the Pan is a pretty easy matchup for him. However, sometimes that's because maybe he has a better understanding than the majority of Pan players. But yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting matchup. So we're going to see kind of how it plays out. I feel like just the extra draw is just maybe a little too much.
Yeah. Now, we saw Travis earlier on stream, actually, Dusty. You weren't commentating for this one. But Travis, he plays the deck very swarm. Like, he just wants to swarm the board, and he just constantly just puts down Pan. And the game that we saw, he actually did it 3 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I can see where that could be pretty difficult for Janemba to get through because it's not only swarming the board. Because normally, swarming the board, okay, you swarm the board. Janemba has a multitude of tools to deal with that. They have Sensu Bean, they have the pseudo combos, they have pseudo combos. I mean, they have actual super combos. They have, there you go. Okay. So they have Sensu Beans. They have a multitude of negates. They have special pseudo super combos, actual super combos. Deadly Defender if they run it, or Vegito, which is more likely.
Yep.
So many ways to deal with swarms.
Plus the auto negate.
Right. Auto negate.
Yeah, that's another one.
All these defensive tools. Mm-hmm. And while I agree that swarming the board can be scary, I think what will make it scary is with that plus 5k from Pan. I think
he just needs to do it early, I think.
Right.
If he does that kind of stuff early, it doesn't take too long. Not allowing Janemba to kind of have this handful of defensive cards when he's at high life still is like, okay, critical. But if he starts hitting him early, where Janemba's at 1, 2, maybe even 3 energy, and he's just hitting him. Janemba decks just have a hard time dealing with that if they don't have a way of stopping it. And if you've got rid of all the next negates right away, because you've been playing Pan and swarming the board, it puts you in a situation where Travis can definitely go for a game on turn 4, turn 5.
Right.
And essentially, the Janemba player just can't really. They'll just okay, they'll play Janemba, mill for 4 with leader and Janemba, and then pass.
Yeah. Some people are saying in chat like the 5K buff is important. 20K attackers
Absolutely.
can't combo only one super combo, but I think it's important to remember that if you're 15K and a 20K attacker hits you, you can combo one super combo, go to 25, and it
Correct.
does beat it. So 25 is a magic number against Janemba usually, and a lot of her attackers will not get past 20, will not get to 25.
Actually, it was you who said this a long time ago that against any deck, putting a battle card at 25 power is a very sweet spot because no matter what you've done, you've made the opponent get rid of 2 cards to defend it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can do that like profitably, right? Like if you can attack with like a 15K and then super combo it yourself, so you're drawing a card. So now you're like, no matter what, you have to use like at least 2 cards. And I drew a card, so it cost me nothing. It cost me nothing, and I made you have to use 2 cards.
Correct.
That's a huge tempo swing. And I don't think that's going to happen against Janemba. And also, it's pre-sideboard. Again, not sure what's in the sideboard, but we'll get to that once they get in the sideboard thing. It's going to get even worse for Pan, I think. Janemba can become more defensive.
So now you see Travis here using Time Patrol Trunks, a card that I remember when it first came out, and it was just like every deck's playing it. This card, Overroam's amazing. It was our first shot at Overroam, and I think it was our first card that did Overroam, if I remember correctly. And it was one of the few cards that did the effect that it did. And now we have many other cards that do something similar, if not better. For let's not even talk about Goten, who's banned right now. But to see it here in Travis's deck is pretty interesting to see it again. Because I also think that is it the Kai that does literally the exact same thing, but also gives leader 5K?
What is it?
The Kai?
Yeah, the Kai that comes into play, you draw a card and give your leader, if it's, I think, blue or green, or I'm sorry, red or green, you get plus 5K. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's the Overwhelm one. It's Overwhelm.
It's blue or red, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
what did you say?
It's Overwhelm, and I believe it literally has the same Trunks effect, and then it gives leader 5K also. It's the Overwhelm.
Yeah, it's the Kai of Time or whatever. Yeah, Overwhelm, it comes into play, you draw a card, and then you give your leader plus 5K if it's blue or red.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like that could be better over the Time Patrol.
Yeah.
Just because you're just pressuring, it's like 5K more on my leader.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like Time Patrol, Trunks a lot, because it gives you. I remember when I first saw this card being spoiled, or when we saw it, I was like, every deck will run this card. There's no way not to run this card. At the time, that was the case. I mean, it actually happened a lot. But then we've got a lot better Overwhelm cards. Not even necessarily better, just more niche Overwhelm cards that, when used in the right situation, dominates Trunks. But I still think Time Patrol Trunks is probably the best Overwhelm card in a vacuum. If I told you, hey, you can use this card and look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one in your hand, put the other on the bottom. That's good in like almost every situation that you can think of in a vacuum, without taking anything else into consideration.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that, especially with a cheap Overwhelm cost of 3.
Yeah. Who's in top 8? I believe in top 8 we have Danny Hype is playing Jonathan from PPG right now, and then we have Marcel Russell playing. Do you know? Dahan, right?
Yeah.
Dahan.
And then you have
these 2 guys.
Yeah,
so that's 6.
Travis and Phillip, and I believe did Eon win?
Yeah, I think Eon won, but I'm not sure who he played.
I don't know who he's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he might be playing Chris. I forgot his last name. He was also playing Janemba. He's a local player here to Lorna.
Oh, cool.
He's one of the few local guys left.
Oh, I love this card right here.
Yo, everybody's pal Yamcha.
There he is.
This card's sick.
Yeah, card's really sick. It's very good.
We talk all the time. They keep making Earthlings cards, and now we have look at that Earthling super combo. I was literally about to mention this Boma. It's like, yeah, just freak super combo. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Zathios is what what you said is what we were gonna. I was just about to talk about actually when I saw everybody's pal Yamcha, is that Time Patrol Trunks is considered an Earthling, so it can't be searched out of that. But I wasn't sure. I didn't know you ran Time Patrol everyone's pal Yamcha. But as soon as I saw him play that, I was like, I get it. I got you.
Yeah, I actually forgot that he plays this card when we saw him on stream earlier. So that makes sense of why he plays Time Patrol, because it's just another target for him to hit off.
Right. Yeah, and the Kai is obviously a god, so
can't work with that one.
Doesn't work.
And Dahan's leader he's got like a tinted sleeve on there. I was like, what is this? Oh, it's this leader. I didn't know what it was at first.
It's like he has tint, dude. He's rolling up in his custom sleeve. He needs to put a spoiler on it,
He's like, you know what? I know you guys don't like Janemba, but I got my hater blockers on.
Got my hater blocker on. Need some spinners on it, He
pulls
man.
Up. So he's got Demon Sword and Reality Bender on board. So pretty much at the end of this turn, he's gonna mill him for 6 for the whole turn. And he's going to warp a card, too. You can go tell him to go ahead and mill, too. It's interesting. This player likes to swing with his Janemba cards, unlike Dahan. So we saw Dahan earlier on stream. Dahan sometimes will rather just play it and just activate effect and just get rid of it, just protect it. Now, he could possibly do it. Philip here is doing this because obviously he's tapped out and he knows he doesn't play Mafuba. It's a mono red deck, so he's not afraid of something like Mafuba that'll kind of stop it for 2 turns and delay it, which could be the delay that causes them to maybe even lose.
Right.
Because we are going to 4/5 energy, and that's very aggressive for a pan deck. So,
Yep.
but yeah, him being tapped out, having all those, he'll swing with everything, pressure Travis, and just mill 6.
Right,
Which
right.
is super aggressive. We're in turn 5. Dusty, you say he's at 15, maybe 16 cards left in the deck at most.
Sure. I would say it's pretty fair. I'd like to find a way to figure out how many cards are in the deck. Maybe do a have the judge check.
That'd be pretty cool.
And then write the number down or something and keep it on stream. I like to find it because Janemba is gonna. It feels like Janemba is gonna be a deck that's gonna be like some sort of an. I feel like we're always gonna see Janemba.
Yep.
At least for the foreseeable future. I think the investment would be really cool.
Yeah, until there's a...
Oh, guys, yeah, well, I'm sorry, guys. We don't have a bracket. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Guys, if you have any questions for us, if you want to ask us any questions on the chat, at PPGDBS. It lights up on our chat, and we can see it. And so if we miss your comment, it's not because we're just actively not wanting to talk to you. It's because we're watching the game and only glancing at the chat,
Correct.
So, that giant black box helps us tell, oh, they're asking us a question. Cool. But, yeah, we don't have a bracket. There might actually be a bracket around here, but we don't have it with us. So.
Yeah, just ask us any question. We'll try to answer it, or I'll get you the answer if I possibly can.
Right.
So Travis now swinging with his forcing hit. Earlier, I didn't catch what I know he pulled out Reality Bender because I can see here in the corner of the screen, but I didn't check what the second card was that he pulled out of his hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll tell you what, though. He's going to go right into this Sensu.
He's swinging for game here. I wonder. Oh no, he's not. I'm sorry. Did he negate the hit because he's now swinging with Trunks?
Yeah, must have been the leader negate. So we have 15. This is the top 6. We don't need to know. We wrote everything down on the stream. Thank you, sir.
So he goes ahead and overrolls for time patrol again, and now he's swinging for a 30K. Looks like he's going for 30K. PPGDBS, yo, that's broken. Yeah, always, man. Yo, that's super broken.
Yeah. Can you take these back to John? We don't need. I don't want to lose them. Okay.
And that's GG right there. So with the Aurum of Time Patrol Trunks, he combos out and he goes for game.
Yeah, it looks like our players are getting back into the games. We're going to switch back over to the game cam.
I also like his tech for body change Ginyu, but unfortunately in this matchup it doesn't do a whole lot because Janemba's leave the field at the end of the turn.
Yeah. Body change, Ginyu is just a very versatile card, especially in the pan deck. It comes into play, gives you a lot of power. Plus 10K, draws you a card. You can steal your opponent's card. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff for just 3 energy.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, this card does what? it was so good.
Test gesture of the troll. No, it says 3 sets later, Dusty is finally right and Panda's meta. You guys remember? Does anybody in chat remember the? I want to see #PanFam if you remember the Panhon deck I built on stream forever ago.
Oh, when Pan was first coming out.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That is a long time ago.
Actually, Maverick still actually took that deck to an ARG event and won with it.
Really?
Yeah, it was an Easter event or whatever it was. Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
my
it.
boy Dance King. I remember you too. 1711, man. Nice to see you here. Don't worry, guys. Once I get done with these celebrations, I'll be streaming a lot more regularly back on my stream and be able to bring you guys some good content. We're also, like I said, partnering with PPG to bring you guys some insane Dusty After Dark. Man, I actually bought my Dusty After Dark jacket too. My blazer for that.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It just needs to happen.
I'm so late on everything I do though that it doesn't. I mean, it's I feel bad, but it's I just
want to petition to be you ever play Mortal Kombat back in the day?
Yeah.
The guy that comes in the car goes Tootsie. I just want to be that guy. All of a sudden, randomly throughout the thing, Tootsie.
Hearn 7. I love that Panon deck. Yeah.
Absolutely. I really like Gloria Says Vegeta here. So he main decks his card. So in a situation where Philip tries to put Childish Heart Janemba on board and leave it there to use it at an optimal time to get rid of some of Travis's board, Gloria Says Vegeta is just like a mini Jiren. He can just use that to drive right into it. So I really like this card in this matchup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because essentially the most people that play Childish Heart don't want to. They'll make it and leave it there because it's got barrier.
Oh.
They're not gonna do anything with it. They're gonna activate it at the proper time to bring out Demon Sword. Or something to warp something on the board, or it's if you're gonna try to play around it. Once I have 2 on there, and possibly even 3, depending how the game goes, but normally 2, they'll use both of them and essentially mill you for 6, possibly even 8 that turn. because it's a very aggressive play from a Janemba deck if
Yeah,
you do it
absolutely.
right.
That
And
sounds-
Glorious Vegeta is the one that can stop that. So I really like that he has that in the deck.
Glory obsessed Vegeta.
Champion pack, probably my favorite out of all the champion
Yeah, I
pack
think
cards.
it's the best card. I don't know.
think
The
so,
yellow
too.
Goku's really good too, though. The
vanilla?
vanilla. Yeah, it's funny because I think when a lot of people saw that, they're like,
Vanilla 30K.
"Yeah, good job, Bandai.
Well, then we got people like this Bonds of Friendship Son Goku coming out.
Can't even make a card with skills on it." Bragging.
Yeah, definitely. To me, I think it is the best card in that set. It's a cheaper version of Jiren. It's efficient. It's good. I mean, I don't see
Oh,
why
Jiren,
not.
man. It's actually cool, playing this game from the start. You see, like, how, like, the mighty have risen and fallen, right? Like,
Yeah.
Kel, you remember Kel was just, like,
Kel's-
unstoppable?
Kale was expensive, but it was like
Yeah, she
you
was, like,
couldn't-
$30.
You could not play like green and not have Kale. It was
Oh,
like
my
impossible.
gosh, she was so good. She single-handedly just made green good. Like,
Yep.
just one card. You're just like, I guess I have to play a bunch of suboptimal cards just to play this insane card.
Yep. I mean, there was Kale. Jiren was another one. Also, when Miraculous Gohan came out, like that was also another one. It was like him and Jiren were both like insanely powerful at the time.
Right.
And I love that. I love Gohan, so that was good. So now we're seeing Travis play the Fearless Pan, and he's just doing what he does best, building multiple double strikers on board with the Fearless Pan, and everyone gets a 5K boost. Now, and he's a pretty smart player. So earlier we were watching him constantly build the board, but always keeping it under 4, so he couldn't get commied until he knew he can go for game. And then at that point, he went into like 5 or 6 creatures, I guess you could say, on board,
Right.
or cards on board, battle cards, and then just gave everything double strike. It was like, well, that's pretty tough.
Well, we see those counters coming into play right here, right now. I mean, he's buffing his whole team up with this pan and putting a lot of pressure on this Janemba player.
Yep. Yeah, Janemba does not like these big swings. It wants to be able to just play a 10K and just be done with it, or just negate it and be done with it. Anytime it's got to give up multiple cards, it is not happy. Because even though leader swings on every attack, the Janemba decks, the way they're built, they don't tend to build a huge hand. They tend to break even.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't waste anything,
really
but
do.
they don't gain anything.
Right. That's one thing I talked a lot about in the stream back in the day was that pan feels really good because, she doesn't have a huge, like, 15, 16 card hand, but she doesn't have, like, a low card hand. Like, it's very hard to go low.
Yeah.
And she's getting more and more cards that are gaining her cards, too. Like, she gets, like, the one I can think of right off the top of my head is everyone's pal Yamcha, but also the Zarbon, the new Zarbon that comes into play, draws her a card, then when it dies, it draws you a card.
Correct,
So
yeah.
like she's gaining cards in that way, too.
Doesn't it also minus something power, I believe, when it gets KO'd?
What was it?
The Zarbon, doesn't he also minus power?
Yeah, he minus 15K.
Okay.
Yeah.
So potentially he can also KO a card.
Yeah. Yeah, which in turn I guess would be like a 3-card or like 2-card advantage or whatever.
Yep. Looks like someone's asking a question. Or no, without KO, green was good. It's called Cell Chain. I mean, there's, believe it or not, if you remember, look back at Set 2 format, Union Forge, there was a lot of Cell and Droid players still playing 1 or 2 KO.
Yeah, you absolutely picked Kel and Cell Chain back in the day. Yeah.
You did it. You
In
just,
fact, John Tata and North Carolina got second place using the Kel version. I mean, I wouldn't say Kel version, but it was just Android.
it just teched in the KO.
It was
Yeah.
Kel, absolutely. I mean, you had to in order to try to get the board back and get some of the different, matchups. Also, just drew a card, which was nuts. Yeah, TP Gohan. Yep,
Yeah,
60.
TP2. Oh, that card was insane when it came out.
Yeah, my promo binder with the 4 judge TP or the 4 judge Gohans was I was like, people offer. I remember one guy offered me, I think it was $120 for a piece.
Oh, my
Yeah, and I was
goodness.
like, no, thank you. This card's only going to go up. You know what I mean? And that's like, I was.
Where you at now? This thing.
Yeah, they were like 10 cents. And
It happens. I mean, that card was insane. It was hard to get. Promos were like really difficult to find at the time. Bandai was pretty fresh and new starting this, and it was one of the best cards in our format. It was like insane to have. It was cheap. It was critical. It KO'd any card on board. So it had answers to Cell Chain and many other things. It was very good, especially in Soul Striker, one of our favorite decks. All right, so it looks like it's Travis' turn. He charges everybody's pal Yamcha. Chain attack into Zeno. He's going to go ahead and reset the board.
yeah, I can't tell how many cards that's going to get off Philip's hand, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that many.
I think Travis had a pretty big hand, so he's just refilling his deck here. Just like how you said he would do
Right.
earlier. Yeah, which is a really good strategy. You just kind of keep pressuring Philip and keep pressuring him. He's got a pretty decent side hand. He'll Zeno himself as well, essentially the best way to describe it, just to put all these cards back in his deck and delay the game.
Right.
And if he put in Fu Shrouded of Mystery here, this is absolutely insane because he could buy that one turn or two to get to 6 energy and just Fu.
I actually think I feel like I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out who the best chain Zeno leader is, and like I always thought it was Pan, but I think the more I see Harugon do it too, it's like wow, that's really good too. Like I chain Zeno, and then I attack my leader, draw a card, and you take a card out of your hand and put on top. It's like you go to 5 cards and you go to 4, and I go to 5 and then go to 6. So it's a 2-card discrepancy.
That's if you do it at 4 energy or higher. Because you can technically do it at less. Because you have to have 4 energy or more for Hirudegan to activate leader effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's only to do because I've been blown out by Hirudegan before at the 2 energy, so I'm like, well, it depends if he gets there. I have bad luck against Hirudegan. I don't do so hot.
Right.
But yeah, I like Pan with especially with the new ruling that they gave it, where you can kind of activate the auto for Pan
Yeah,
after.
you can put them in a different order, or they choose in the order they resolve.
But essentially, Hirudegan says I can just neg him a card too, so it's 4 to 6, like you said. I mean, it's a really good argument actually. Now, the more I think about it, that's really good.
Yeah, it's tough. Because Pan goes from 5 to 6, and your opponent has 5, and then Hirudegan goes from 5 to 6, and your opponent has 4.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty good. Oh, my favorite card in the game, at all costs, Vegeta. Good old Vegeta.
Yeah, and this is a card that I'm expected to go down in price, and because we haven't seen it in as many decks as we used to.
I think it has been slowly going down in price. Not drastic, but it's like little ticks.
Yeah.
There's little ticks, but it's still pretty pricey. I mean, I think we had this conversation the other day at the house. Like any card that comes out and has like a paragraph, it's like before I read this card, I know it's good. Why? Because it takes up half the card. So he's so versatile, so flexible. As long as you're essentially playing blue, you can play this amazing card that can come out and do many different things in many different situations.
Yeah, gotcha. I tell you, I feel like Philip's version of the deck seems a lot better too once we get the God Strike Beerus card too, the one that negates the skill.
Yep.
Because being able to leave 2 open or tap out and then use Zeno button to resound energy, and then the opponent's like, now I can go in and I'm gonna go all in because he can't negate it. And you're just like, oh God Strike Beerus, take away the double strike. It's like, thanks, good job. Yeah.
It's also a Beerus card, so I know you're a little biased.
Absolutely. It could say, come off this card, you lose the game. And
I'd
I'd
still
be
like it.
I'd be like, guys, look, it might be playable.
Might be
Let's talk about it.
might be playable.
How much it cost? You know what I mean?
I'm trying to see what's in Philip's hand here. I think he's got a Reality Bender there, and I think is that a Sensu Bean behind it? Like I can see the edge of it a little bit, but just tilt it down a spinch so I can see.
What is it?
See, it looks like it's Reality Bender, and then right after Reality Bender, it's Sensu Bean. I was trying to see what was in his hand. Because this is a very interesting turn for Philip. He played at all costs, and he's kind of pushing for game. Travis is at 3 life. He's already swung with leader, but he's still got plenty of energy up. So depending on what's going on, he can do quite a bit. And I think he's swinging at. He already swung with Vegeta and didn't get there. He was trying to go for a game. Should have gone for game. He wanted to. I don't think he could.
Okay.
That was definitely his attempt. He's got the triple strike on there.
Yeah, but I think going for game, I think it's obviously great. If you succeed, you win.
He's just got less cards than Travis. I think he just felt like he couldn't get there.
Yeah, like I said, if you succeed, you win. Congratulations. If you fail, you lose the match.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of top 8. Don't move on. So I think it's better.
He's already down a game, so he's trying to be safe here.
Right. Yeah, I think it's better to maybe play a little safe.
Yeah, someone said in chat he would have lost in the game. Yeah, 8 would have just blown him out at that point. I was like, well.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I think kind of taking the safer route here is better. He's down a game, and he's just trying to kind of get himself back in there. Ooh, hit. He's got super combo. Sensu Bean. Oh, I was right. It's Reality Bender, Sensu Bean.
The only 2 cards he can get, and they're both so good.
Yeah.
This is not good for Philip, because he's going to take some damage.
Yeah. Well, he does have a 1 negate in his hand and a bean, so.
And he also has a leader negate still, I think.
Yes. I don't think he's used it at all.
I'm trying to think. Do you want to take the hit, though? He's getting a little bit of help out of his life, though. He's getting Dimension Magic, which is pretty good.
Oh, no, he was swinging at Vegeta.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
it looked like he pointed at it.
Yeah, I let it die. Yeah, I wouldn't protect it at all.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, Philip, depending on which side he comes from. If he comes from the right side of his life here where he takes damage, he's actually going to get a lot of help. He's going to get a pseudo super combo into Dimension Magic, which is pretty good. If he goes from the left side, though, he's going to get some pretty mediocre ones.
Yeah, the Goku right now is it's okay. It's really not that great. I mean, it'll stop a Cabo play, but I don't think he wants to spend 2 energy this late in the game to just play that Goku. It's something you kind of want to do early. The Reality Bender is not bad since he kind of lost the one he had in his hand, so he can use it to get rid of this hit off the board.
Oh, cool.
So it removes the double strike threat for the next turn. So we're kind of waiting to see what Travis does here. He's got Shrouded in his hand. I'm excited. I'm sorry, I love Shrouded. Like Shrouded is one of
He
my.
can play it next turn too.
He's one of my favorite cards, and he's doing exactly what he wants to do. He sided it in from the sideboard into the main board, and he's just delaying the game long enough to just drop Shrouded and be like, all you have is Leader Negate.
Well, Philip is actually going the right side of his life here. He's going to get 2 really good defensive cards here.
Ooh, Mills a super combo.
Never good.
Yeah, Travis is definitely just trying to get to 6 energy here. If he slaps down this Shrouded Food Dusty, I'm a god. What is it? Is it not a cleric? What is it? I can foresee the future. What are they called?
You're clairvoyant?
Clairvoyant, yes. I'm clairvoyant, baby. Yo, he's Shrouded. My boy Shrouded. Yo.
He just heard you.
I called it. Yeah, he just scoops it up. That's it. He scooped it up.
Well, good game.
I tell you, he just needed to get there. All he has is Leader Negate, and he has 2 different double strikers to get him there.
Yep.
He just can't stop all the attacks.